All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know I don't have a lot of followers, and the whole purpose of me even doing this was trying to kill myths and misinformation that are put out by influencers. And I was made aware of one by Dan Becker, and he had a guest, I guess, Chris Cage, that had 61,000 views and 1,700 likes. And the first question was, cotton kills, agree or disagree, or true or false? And they both marked false. And they said, well, I think under certain situations, it should be wet kills. And that's not true. The reason the term came about is cotton is hydrophilic. It absorbs water like crazy. But under that circumstance, it's not because it's wet that it kills you. It has no insulating properties whatsoever. In fact, it's exothermic. It draws the heat off of you. It draws the heat off of you at a rate to 3 to 4 times what is normal, what open air is. So if you're hiking and you get damp, cotton can absorb up to 27% its own, or 27 times its own weight in water or moisture, liquids. And what that means is it's slow to dry, and it's drawing the heat out of your core and out of your body at 3 to 4 times the rate as of open air. So your body temperature will decrease 3 to 4 times faster, than if you were just butt naked, going through the hills, the plains, and everything else. And when you're in the outdoors, this has really, really brutal ramifications for hikers, backpackers, and stuff. And as somebody who's been on search and rescue for people that are hyperthermic and hypothermic, or have done both in the same day, are now in critical state, a lot of it does come down to the clothing that they chose to wear and whether it's insulated or not. So they're hiking, they start to sweat, their clothes get damp, it's holding that water to sun. Right now, we're about 2 hours from sunset. But about an hour from sunset, the temperatures start to plummet. I'm in Kansas. Today was a beautiful day. It's 74 degrees. When it hits the horizon, or 10 degrees above the horizon, the temperature is going to start to plummet. It's going to plummet down to 50 degrees. The human body goes hypothermic at 96 degrees core temperature. So what happens is you're hiking, you're walking, you slow down, you go to camp, or, you're out for a day hike. The sun goes down, you were slightly damp throughout the day, you kept relatively well hydrated. Now that sun goes down. Now the clothing you're wearing, being cotton, is now drawing off your body heat and your energy at 3 to 4 times the rate of open air. And they both answered false to this, which it's not that the wet kills. You can dry yourself off, you can get in front of a fire, put heat back into you, but you can't do the same thing if you're wearing wet cotton, wet clothing. It's just a stage worse, or not, it's just a stage under being submerged in ice cold water if you're wearing cotton. Yeah. So I want to correct this. Sorry, it's got me worked up because I have worked search and rescues. I have worked the field. I have seen kids in the Boy Scouts wearing the wrong things and end up suffering frostbite because they were hiking. Their socks were damp. They stopped for a few minutes and the cotton is soaking wet and this cold just seeps into it and it never heats up. And they keep their mouths closed until something bad happens, which is usually not very long. It's not like if you were wearing wool and you could go hours because it's still, even though it's wet, it's still insulative and you're still maintaining the heat from your capillaries or anything else because it's not actively drawing your body heat away. Whereas cotton is actively drawing the body heat out of you at 3 to 4 times the rate of standard air. So when they say that cotton is deathcloth, the only time cotton would serve a benefit in the outdoors, a positive benefit, is if you were in an extreme dry heat, say the bottom of the Grand Canyon in the middle of summer, where it would cool your body temperature off faster than the current rate of the air around you. This is the only time that it would not be considered deathcloth. Dan says something about, well, if you're wearing blue jeans, kind of flippantly throwing it off. There's nothing flippant about it. Adults are very susceptible to hyper and hypo events, but children are even worse so. Humans live in a certain set condition, thermal condition. That is between 96 and 99 degrees Fahrenheit. We have a very limited core body temperature before things go wrong with us. And cotton accelerates that to a point that's untenable for life. You will very quickly slip into a hypothermic state or a mild hypothermic state, even if you went out for a summer hike in the Appalachian Mountains and you got hit by a shower and the temperature dropped down to 64, 65 degrees. That change in temperature from the 70s to that and you being damp is enough to initiate hypothermia. And it may not be the hypothermia that kills you, but the first stage of hypothermia is inhibited brain capacity, so inhibited thought process. So you're the person that's going to wander off the trail and be found, a week later dead, and they're going to say, died due to exposure. And everybody brushes that off. But that exposure is the hypothermia from the clothing you wore, making you make a bad decision. Now you're off the trail where anybody can find you, or you slip down a ravine, or any number of other things. And in extreme cases, you strip completely off, where if you'd stripped the cotton off to begin with, put yourself around a fire, you would have been vastly better off than wearing the cotton. This is where the term cotton kills comes from. It is a rule that is set there so that you think about it and you're not out with, oh, I'm on a day hike with just the cotton on and this isn't cotton, by the way, this is alpaca. It's just become such a part of my life that I'm either wearing merino wool, alpaca. I do wear nylons and some synthetics, but neither here nor there. Cotton has a lot of things detrimental going for it. If you've ever worn it and you've gotten wet in a rainstorm, it glues itself to you. One, it's just uncomfortable. Two, it adds a lot of extra weight. Like I said, up to 27 times its own pound for pound weight, it can absorb in water or other liquids in weight. Three, it's drawing your body temperature and your core temperature at 3 to 4 times rate of ambient air. So it is actively killing you faster than the environment. It is actively sapping the heat out of you faster than the ambient environment. So yes, Dan, yes, Chris, it is actively killing you. It is deathcloth. And the reason that statement exists is for the people that don't know better. It is for the people that watch your channel, the people that are getting into hiking and are listening to your opinions. What I've just said is not an opinion. It is scientific fact. Fact. Cotton draws heat from the human body at 3 to 4 times the rate of ambient air. Fact. Cotton can absorb 27 times its own weight in liquids. These are facts. These are not my opinions. And when you put it in a true and false type setting, you make it a fact. Your statement isn't a fact, that's your personal opinion. And your personal opinion has no bearing in reality. You have a lot of people that don't know their ins and their outs, and they're taking your suggestions on gear, and they're taking your suggestions on the trails, and they're taking your suggestions on timelines, and they're going out into the wild or up on these trails and up into the mountains without anything else other than what you say. And with what you say, they're going to get themselves killed. That is just like all of you trail hikers and everything and ultralightists that say, oh, with a cell phone and GPS, you don't need first aid training. You don't need survival training. You don't need to know how to make a fire. You don't know how to build a expedient shelter, et cetera, et cetera. The line goes on and on and on. The whole reason that I made this, 30 years of search and rescue, 26 years of military, 46 years of being in the outdoors, my entire life since I was this tall. I would never, ever tell newbies or put something that newbies would hear on the air like that, that would jeopardize their lives without the proper context and blow it off like it is nothing. Because it's not only the individual, it's not just the college student, it's not just the 30-year-old or 20 or 50-year-old that just suddenly gets a burr in their butt and wants to go into the outdoors. It's the mom and dad with their 5- and 6-year-old child that's going into the sock drawer and pulling out the cotton socks, pulling out the jeans, pulling out the cotton t-shirt and saying, hey, let's go to Zion. Let's go hike Zion. Oh, all we need is a single canteen, our cotton shirt, our cotton pants, and everything else. And oh yeah, the sun just went down and the temperatures went from 107 to 62 degrees. And now the heat is getting sucked out of all of them. Now the kid is immobile. The parents are sitting next to him. They're immobile. They're all freezing to death. Whether they have a signal on their phone or not, that's a mystery. Whether they can get a signal or not on their GPS because they're in a slot canyon, that's another thing that's up in the air. But hey, if you got a cell phone, you got a GPS, and you're wearing cotton, you know it's all good because somebody will come and rescue you. You don't have to wear the right stuff. You don't have to make the right decisions. You don't have to know the basics. Just carry the GPS with emergency locator beacon and your cell phone and you're good, except you're not. Just wear whatever you want and you'll be fine because it's all overblown anyway, except it's not. Try going out on some of these rescues. Try picking up the bodies afterwards. Before you make statements like that, you do it. I'm sick and tired of crap from influencers who, oh, I went out and suddenly went hiking and I took the time to hike the Appalachian Trail and I loved it and now I'm a sudden expert because I filmed this video and I had no problems because I mailed all this stuff to me and everything else and I happened to beat the odds. I took the inappropriate gear. Oh, I changed out my gear constantly to fit the seasons I was in and, you know, I got through. I was a little cold here, I was a little cold there. But you know what? You talk about all the people that didn't. Go back and look. All the children that have not made it because of their parents' bad decisions. All the parents, all the adults, all the college students. Go out on a day like today and in 6 hours everything turned and, you know, the weatherman was wrong. It was like this morning here. I'm in Kansas now. I was born and raised in the Appalachian Mountains. And yes, they're the Appalachians for me. I was born and raised in Jersey, not down in the South. So it's not Appalachia for me, it's Appalachia. But holy crap, people are listening to you. You have a responsibility. And a lot of the people that are listening to you are not the people that do it in and out. A lot of the people that are listening to you are the newbies, the inexperienced. They're looking to your experiences on the trail and what worked for you. And when you go and you make a blanket statement like that, and you knock off a rule that is set to keep people alive and give them a better chance, and you just flippantly blow it off because you don't understand what it means, because you didn't look and you didn't listen, and you've gotten away with it so far. That shit's got to end. All of you, Ben hates hiking. You, Dan. Half a dozen others that I can name if the TBIs weren't kicking my butt right now. There's that girl who's done the Triple Crown and is all proud of herself, Dixie. That's it. I have heard crap from all of you. And as somebody who's been on the search and rescues, been on the teams, been on the body recoveries, been in a place to help assist people that should never have been where they were, and having to give up my own gear to keep them alive. You know, when I wasn't in an official capacity, you guys have got to stop. You may not be legally, what's the word I'm looking for? Legally culpable, there, for what you're spouting off, because it does fall under your, freedom of speech. But you do have a moral culpability when you put something like that out and somebody does it, especially when somebody does it with a child. When an adult takes your advice and then endangers somebody else, somebody that doesn't have a legal standing in that decision-making process. This is the insanity I'm talking about that's got to stop. This is the half-assery that's got to end. I'm happy you're making money at this. Good for you. I'm not making a dime. I'm not trying to. I'm trying to keep people alive. I'm trying to give people the information they need. I'm boring as fuck. I understand that. I'm a textbook. I'm a almost 30-year veteran. And I'm very direct. I'm to the point, and I get on a tangent and I go, and then I take the next thread on that and I run with it. And I try to wrap as much information up as I can. And so, yeah, I'm long-winded. I'm boring. Get it. But stop telling people right now things that are your opinion that can get them hurt or killed. Stop advocating that, hey, I can go to REI and buy $400 worth of stuff and go up on the damn trail. You people are listed as experienced outdoorsmen and you don't know the first thing about the outdoors. I take away your backpacks and shit and take your gear away, and you're freaking like Julian Assange. Go up on old Baldy, like how many dozens of others, have the weather snap on you, or have it worse than what the weatherman ever predicted, or have it completely different than what was predicted, and then you're up there stuck and you die. And the sad thing about it is you're always the ones that get away with it. So you can open your mouths and keep going. And it's the people that listen to you, especially the teens and the kids, that pay the price. I cannot tell you how many times you get called out on rescues for juveniles that are in the care of adults, and the adults were the ones that gave them the packing list and told them what to take. They're the ones that laid out their clothes. It's got to stop. All of you have got to stop. An EPIRB, a GPS, a cell phone are not replacements for care. Help does not come in 5 minutes. It's not 5 minutes of being uncomfortable or aching or hurting before somebody comes to rescue you. Hypothermia, the environment, that is a constant war. Thermal regulation is a war in the outdoors. You either know it, you've learned it from experience and from your elders, or you learn it the hard way. And when people like you give out misinformation like you did, and you can look it up and verify what I said, scientifically factual, contact any of the search and rescue services, contact FEMA, check the records. I'm absolutely right. People like you shouldn't open your mouth. I'm sorry if I'm an asshole. No, I'm not. If it saves a life, one life, I'll be an asshole all goddamn day long. And really, I don't give a shit. If you want to go up and kill yourself, and you want friends to go up and kill yourself, go do it. You have fun with that. Don't take others with you. At all. Ever. It's ridiculous. It's self-serving for your clicks and everything else. Now you can take this video and you can cram it up your... I'm done with people like you, and that's why I'm doing these long, boring videos. So the people that actually want to do it, have fun, and get out alive and enjoy it, can. All of you that want to take the shortcuts, go off their list, not study, not get the history, not do your due diligence. When it's yourself, I don't care. If you're a grown adult, do whatever you want. Buy the farm. Don't call us. Don't put my trainees, and I'm retired now, but the search and rescuers that took my place, don't put them in danger because you're out of your ever-living mind. If you're going to make that decision, and it's going to be a list of bad decisions, take the Darwin Award. Save everybody else. Take responsibility for yourself. Search and rescue is for... I've gotten to this point because I'm just so sick of the stupidity. Search and rescue are for the kids and those that don't know better, and those that are in over their head due to circumstances beyond what any reasonable person could prepare for. And yeah, that's avalanches, landslides, stuff like that. Flash floods? Well, it depends where you are in a flash flood. If you're hiking a slot canyon and you don't know a flash flood's coming because you didn't pay attention to the weather that affects that system, that's you. There are surprises, and I'll give you that. Because just like today, it was supposed to be just like right now, and we had the showers this morning that nobody called for. That stuff happens all the time. The weatherman's wrong all the time. That's the whole point about dressing in the right clothing. This is thermal regulatory. That means it keeps me cooler in the heat and dumps the heat, and it keeps me warm in the cool. It insulates. Take the lesson. You can laugh at the kilt all you want, but, I can move. I've got airflow. I'm not sweating my TTs off, and it's 79 degrees at 82% humidity. Hotter than it was earlier. Not as hot as it's been the last couple days. Yesterday was 91 and 62% humidity. I mean, you watch the Europeans here for the FIFA games and they're dying. This is nothing. This is spring for us. But I have hiked the Appalachians. I have hiked I've hiked in Japan. I've hiked in Germany. I've lived in both places. Hiked Australia, camped Australia, hunted Australia, hunted Germany, hunted freaking here all over the US, lived in Alaska, was born and raised up in Sussex, New Jersey, up near High Point. I've been around the block, lived in Washington for 5 years. In the outdoors all that time. In Texas, same thing. The outdoors is my home. And I love to see new people get it. I like to see the kids enjoy it. I like to see them grow in it. I don't want somebody like you getting them killed. So I don't care about you. And I don't care about what you think of my video and my response to you. Except in the fact that you change the nonsense that you put out. I mean, one of you is the owner of a food purveyor for the trail. And that is a place that is sorely lacking, both in flavor and actual calories needed on trail. I mean, I get a lot of the people jump on the trails to lose weight, but a lot of them lose unhealthy amounts of weight because they're not getting proper nutrition. They're not taking in the proper calorie counts. And that seems to be a lost art. I mean, we've gone from the rice and beans to freeze-dried meals, and it seems that somehow we've lost the calories. That's another conversation. That's long-term health and hygiene and safety. And I'm reacting right now, but somebody who is supposedly promoting, you know, enjoyment of the outdoors, and somebody who has a business that actively promotes nutrition on the trail, giving bad advice is just wow. That's like a firefighter sitting here telling not even a firefighter, a volunteer firefighter telling the guy over there to run in and save a kid. It's fuck. God, wish I could make you drop and push. I really wish I could make you drop and push. Treat you like a soldier, for Christ's sake. Get that nonsense out of your head. My name's David McGregor. You can look me up through the military. You can look me up through FEMA, whatever you want. Your crap is nonsense. Retract it, for Christ's sake. I get it was a couple of weeks ago. Somebody just pointed out to me. I watched it. And I'm just stunned. Absolutely stunned that somebody couldn't understand why that rule was made, what it was put out there for, and never bothered to look at the mathematical and physiological realities. Oh, false, false. When you say true or false implies a fact, not an opinion. True or false deals with facts. It's either real or it's not. It's not, my opinion is, fix it before somebody actually listens to it and dies. Jesus Christ.